Hey, everyone. Welcome to Curse of Strahd on this very spooky Halloween night. I can hear faintly out my window the sounds of children playing and ghosts rustling. This week on Charmed Persons, on Sunday, another session of Campaign 3, Concerned Citizens. Monday, Talk With Me, the best episode yet.
Do we have a title for that episode?
Best episode yet.
I think there is a title, but I don't know what it is.
Okay. Eric's always the one who knows the title.
Eric's in charge of titles. He's got a better mind for this than me. And a week from today is the next episode in Monster Heart's sophomore year. Fun romp with monsters in high school.
Crazy shit going down there.
Yes. Reoccurring special guest who's really shaking things up, which is fun. But also our Discord.
Yeah! Honestly, this one, you're nailing it on this one.
I'm killing it. Join our Discord Charmed family where you can see some behind the scenes chat with some of the players while the session's going on and just interact with other people in our Charmed family. All right, let's get started. Last time on Curse of Strahd, the newly formed party had just finished a encounter in the ruined town of Beres that had been taken over by a night hag, Morgantha, who had basically held auditions to replace her two fallen coven members with a bunch of members from nearby towns beckoned towards this city or town. You came and you conquered. You destroyed Morgantha not before she used the desecrated holy symbol of Ravenkind to strike down Esmeralda. You decided to make your way back to a refuge place that is somewhat nearby, a abandoned mansion that sits on a promontory high above the valley of the Luna River below in the Spholic woods that cover this entire forested area that is Barovia. While you were traveling, you found a notebook that belonged to the hag that detailed her interest in Strahd's story and his love of this woman Tatiana, and when he gave his soul to the dark powers, so to speak, when he killed his brother in revenge and became what he is today, the ruler of these lands forever. You, Petra, found a eyeball with a shard of amber inside that perhaps has a bit of your soul trapped inside, and you swallowed it. The one of the people there at Beres, a young woman named Lydia, struck up a friendship with your compatriot Arabelle, but in the middle of your rest in your nights while setting up camp, she screamed, clawing at her face. Some quick thinking with a magic circle spell from Proximus contained her inside, where you realize that, not to her knowledge, but she had been infested with this hag essence, and she was turning into this fiendish creature before your eyes. So you shot her, Oz, with your gun a few times, and she died, much to the chagrin and sadness of Arabelle. But you pushed on, trying to find this mansion called Argon Vostholt. You have come to learn was a long time ago a bastion or a fort for members of a paladin order that were loyal to the Morning Lord, the Order of the Silver Dragon. But this fort has been abandoned a long time. These paladins probably slain in battle many centuries before you came here. So now this mansion is a decrepit a third of it has crumpled in the intervening years. It stands in contrast to the howling wind and snow of the valley around it. It is silent, like a decaying corpse on the land. As you traveled up to it, you found a person outside. Warren Canis, which you have, some of you recognize, mostly Ismark, is a person around town, and another figure with him. He saw Ismark and Ismark's entourage and let you inside. Inside the hallowed halls of Argynvostold, you can tell that it has been removed and abandoned for a long time, where there was once great tapestries and beautiful paintings and frescoes on the wall. Those have been mostly torn down and the tables and chairs discarded. You found a small refuge camp of people who have fled from either Kresk or Valaki or the town of Barovia or anywhere else in the Barovia, trying to escape the clutches of the Dark Lord, Strahd von Zarovich. You found your way inside to see that these people have commandeered the very bottom floor of this mansion. The southern wing of this mansion is destroyed, but mostly the other wings are intact. You see a bunch of people that you recognize. First of all, you see Danica and Erwin Martikov, who are, I think, only Petra would know, or maybe Oz would know, are were-ravens from the larger Martikov family. They are relatives of the family that owned and operated the winery on the far western side. You do not, when you knew them as the owners of the Blue Water Inn in Valaki, they had two young sons who don't seem to be around. But these two clearly know Petra and are happy to see you. Otherwise, you see that Warren Canis is seemingly some sort of leader here, a little trepidatious at your entrance, but allowing you to sit. There is a dining room with some scraps of food. Erwin Martikov, the cook, is serving people porridge and jerky, meager food, but enough for these starving people. You also see that the hooded figure that was outside before had come up to Petra and revealed himself to be Escher, the vampire, son of Rudolf van Richten, who is seemingly hiding out here. The people around don't seem to know that he's a vampire. He's trying to hide that from him, but he is just trying to take refuge with the rest of the people. And, of course, Francesca, one of the women that you saved from Berez, had an interest in you, Oz. She told you about how she was, when her parents died, her human parents, she was taken in by the Dusk Elves, which you, of course, are a part of. And she told you about her stepfather, Harkis, the Dusk Elf, and Casimir, the two leaders of the Dusk Elf encampment, and told you that the Dusk Elves, at least in the intervening years, had made their way up Mount Gakis, the large looming mountain to the south, in search of a place called the Amber Temple, which is seemingly a place that is very integral to Strahd's presence. Francesca herself is missing an eyeball, just like you are, Oz. So you have some sort of camaraderie there, of course, along with your Dusk Elf lineage. And Proximus, a woman came up to you, a middle-aged woman. She introduced herself as Kala, and she seemed to know you. Or at least know who you were. She came up to you, called you Fritz, and wanted to know more about you. But of course, that part of your life is gone. You do not remember, so your ignorance to her was a little bit baffling. We start now, as you are all making your way within this camp. It is dark, of course. Warren will kind of show you there's a few rooms that you have people in. The main entry hall is this kind of once grand foyer with stairs that lead up to a balcony on the second floor, but mostly destroyed, and the cold stone of this mansion is uninviting and desolate. In the back, there is a dining hall with a long table where the Martikovs are serving some of these refugees with their food. And in the back part of the mansion is a chapel devoted to the Morning Lord. So as you get your bearings straight, you can see that a lot of these people know Ismark. And as soon as Ismark walks in, couple people kind of crowd around him, and Ismark seems to like the attention, and his entourage with Tom and Yevgeny and Yara are all talking and gossiping with these people. Yevgeny seems to have some relationship with Warren. It looks like they had probably done some wolf hunting before. But Petra, as you stand there, Escher beside you, he looks to you, Petra, and he says, Petra, are you alive?
Familiar. Maybe the same but different than you are?
He kind of nods, and then he says, is Teddy with you?
Like, I almost get like a headache trying to remember like the final moments, knowing that like I fell and then not knowing really where
Yep.
Teddy ended up. Maybe Arabelle would have told us what happened, but she wouldn't even really know.
She doesn't know.
I was gone. We fell. I'm sorry, I know you did care for him, but gone. I don't know where.
He looks resigned, and he says, well, I've been here for a while. Please don't tell them of my nature. I think that they would excommunicate me, and I've been excommunicated from far too many people lately.
You've survived somehow. That is good. I hope that the old agreement, that you'll help us take him down when it's time.
Make an insight check, Petra.
Wow, that's a nat one.
He nods, and he says to you, I have to ask you, Petra, you trained under my father, Van Richten, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if you've heard, but after that battle in the chapel of the Abbey, I lived alone for many years, trying to find myself. I have denounced Strahd. My only saving grace is that I am not his spawn. I have my own free will, but I am, especially in these lands, a recluse. But my father found me. For a brief moment, I was reunited with my family after being lost for so many years. But, well, you know my father. He tried to kill me in the middle of the night. He said that I was irredeemable in my current form. So,
sorry, I know he's always been very black and white on some things.
Do you think that I am redeemable?
I think that there's always a path back to the light. I think you've been in the darkness for a very long time. I have been in the darkness for a very long time. Maybe we can find it together.
He nods and he says, well, I'm going to get some food. And Danica Martikov kind of flags you down, peeks her head in from the door that leads to the little dining room. And she says, Petra, it's so good to see you. She looks to Warren. I vouch for Petra. Petra and her crew helped our family immensely and in ways that I can't even imagine. And she looks at the winery gem, which I believe one of you is carrying.
I think Michael had it.
I was like, I think I have it.
Okay, yes. She looks over at Proximus across the room. She does not recognize Proximus, but she looks to you, Petra, and kind of whispers to you, you have the winery gem. I would try to keep it hidden, or it's not that I don't trust these people, but it's a powerful item and I don't want it to fall into the wrong hands. And then she says, Dad, do you remember Petra? And you see waking up from asleep on a cot across the room is Davian Martikov, the patriarch of the Martikov family. He kind of struggles up. He is like, he was
still alive?
Super old 10 years ago, and now he's decrepit. And he squints his eyes at Petra and goes, huh? I don't know you. He kind of waddles up to you and he's like looking you straight in the eye, Petra. I don't recognize you. Refresh my memory.
You, I recognize. You helped us, saved us. We helped protect your winery.
Yes. Oh, well, I'm done talking to you. He waddles off. And Danica kind of apologizes, but says, if you're hungry, Petra, we have some stew and jerky and some juice. Some of the others are sitting at the table. She gestures for you if you want to go. Proximus. This woman, Kala, has come up to you. She's kind of stopped you in the entrance hall before you get to where the tents and the rest of the refugees are. And she says, so you don't remember at all, Fritz?
You keep calling me this name. That is not my name, actually. No, I do not know who you are. I'm so sorry.
Make an insight check.
Oh. I'm not that wise. Oh, I'm really not that wise. Oh no. Ooh. Okay, for some reason D&D Beyond is not wanting to cooperate with me at the moment, but hold on. Wow, it's really not wanting to work with me. That's okay. We're gonna make this work. No, we're not. That's a 7.
All right.
Oops.
She seems relieved, weirdly, that you don't remember being Fritz. But she says, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but your mother has since passed. She was such a wonderful woman, and the time that we spent in Wallachia was great, Fritz.
Wow. Okay.
When she says this, you kind of have little flashes in your mind of, the smell of kind of old leather and slightly fragrant perfume, and you remember being in a house in Wallachia and people roaming around. You look down at your arm, and there's a scar that runs up the back of your hand that you didn't realize before, but must have been a scar from this past life. You remember being on stage and performing, people watching you, and you're back there with Kala. She goes, okay, well, I'm sorry, I feel a little bit of, that I have to take care of you.
No, please do not. I already have Arabelle. Point to Arabelle.
Arabelle says, hello, my name is Arabelle. This is,
Proximus.
She goes, this is not who you think it is. This is not Fritz. Kala narrows her eyes. She looks a little disappointed and walks away. And Arabelle looks to you, Proximus, and says, that was interesting.
Very weird.
Yes, okay. Well, I don't... Listen. So you know, I don't know who you were. Okay?
Right.
Okay. So maybe this will happen some more, but I think the best thing to do is just play dumb. Right? Not that you're dumb, of course.
No, that's just really easy for me to do. I like this plan.
Good, okay. All right, well, this is kind of a fun place. I think I'm going to go get some food, and I think I might do a tarot card reading.
Hi, I'm Fritz. Fritz. No, the voice doesn't, the name doesn't sound right to me. Fritz.
That was pretty good. You should be, could be an actor.
Oh, no.
Okay, also,
Yes.
while we're here, I would not do your, like, kind of scary arm form thing, because it's cool and great, but I think people might get scared.
Okay.
Actually, I'm sorry. Do whatever you want. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to be...
No, I think that's a really good idea. The problem is that most of what I do does scare other people. Even doing like small little cute things makes people go, and then they run away.
Yeah, they don't understand you like I do.
No.
All right. Well, I'm going to go to get some food and do a tarot card reading. All right.
Fun.
She skips away.
Bye.
Oz. Can you make a perception check?
Yes, Matthew. That is a natural 20 for a total of 25.
Yeah.
Now, are you wearing your face covering or not?
Yeah, with new people, yeah.
Okay. With your natural 20, you can tell that most of these people are avoiding you. People are kind of chittering in the corner and clearly talking about you. You can see Warren is standing near a kind of middle-aged couple, and they are talking intensely in hushed tones across the room, clearly talking about you. And with that natural 20, not in a positive light.
Oh, shit. Interesting. Is there any place that I can see with that nat 20 that I could, like, be near them and eavesdrop? Or are they too out in the open?
Yeah, I mean, Francesca is kind of nearby. You could have a conversation with her and maybe eavesdrop. It would be inconspicuous. There's also like Yevgeny and Yara and Ismark's little group of people that you could go up to and talk with that could be close by enough to eavesdrop.
I would go up to Francesca. And I would say, hi.
Hi, Oz.
Can you do me a favor?
Of course.
Can you sit here and slowly in your head count to 60?
Sure.
I'm trying
Can
to
I ask?
eavesdrop on these people. They're talking about me.
Ah, okay, sure.
If you don't mind helping me with a little ruse.
Yeah. She nods and winks with her one eye. And you see her go, like, she starts mouthing the word cucumber and mushroom over and over again.
And yeah, I try to eavesdrop on the conversation.
You hear this man, not Warren, but this other man, like, say to him, I don't want people like that here. They are clearly an omen of bad news. And Warren puts his hand on his shoulder and nods and says, I know. We'll let them go soon, but for now we'll give them refuge. And the woman goes, it's not good enough, Warren. You're the leader of this place. You should be in charge. We don't want these people to come. Half of them are scaring some of the children. This is unacceptable. Warren nods, and he says, in due time. And Warren walks into the room with the rest of the food and the dinner table. And these two people kind of congregates. They stop talking about you.
Can I do
walk
something?
over to Ismark. Yep.
Before they walk over to Ismark, I will put out my hand for Francesca. I will grab it, and I will, through my face coverings, kiss her hand. And I will say, a pleasure. I hope we can connect again soon. And then I'm going to walk over to the couple as I am slowly taking off my face covering. So you just see scarring, burn marks, one eye completely gone, the scarred smile. And I walk up to the two of them, and I say, oh god, it's so bad. And I walk up to the two of them, and I like very flamboyantly bow, and I say, Oswald Whittaker, pleasure to meet you.
I think they both don't bow back to you for sure.
Okay,
they
yeah.
both look at you with abject horror. I think the man like screams, he grabs what maybe his partner's hand and just brush past you and head into the other room, not saying a word to you.
I grab him on the elbow as he starts to walk away.
He stops.
That's not very nice. I
Get
introduced
off of me.
myself.
Now, get off of me now.
Of course. I just recently learned about consent.
He shakes his head in like abject disgust.
Okay.
And they leave the room.
You see as they leave the room that Oz's smile twitches and his brow furrows for a moment, and you see this flash of kind of crazed anger. He just kind of sighs, and he goes over to the nearest corner where there's nobody at and gets out his guns and just starts cleaning them.
All right. As you're cleaning the guns, no one is paying you any mind at all, except for Francesca, who, after a minute or two, walks over to you, and, like, noticing that you're just by yourself in the corner. She doesn't seem to be bothered by your scars and your unmasked nature, and she says, Oz, what were they saying about you? If you don't mind me asking, I hate when people talk behind your backs.
Aren't you scared?
Listen, I mean, I've seen a lot of terrible things, and I mean, I've been with a lot of the Dusk Elves who are maimed themselves. missing ears and the like, and I myself points to her empty eye socket, and I think we have a lot in common. And I don't know, it doesn't feel good to be scared of someone just based on their appearance.
Well, they were talking about how scary and horrible I was, and how much they didn't want me here. I tried to introduce myself, tried to be as polite as possible, and they were still so rude to me.
I hate that. Well, I mean, do you want to confront them about it, or should we...
No.
I mean...
That's all right.
Okay.
I'm going to kill them when the night comes.
She smirks at that, and then she changes the topic, and she says, "Are you planning on going up to Mount Gacchus to see the rest of the Dusk Elves?"
Yes, if I can convince the others, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I think it is. I'm kind of debating myself if I want to go. I mean, it's a lot of those people are my family, but I feel so bad that I left them. I went to Barris and I just left them.
Don't feel bad. Every once in a while, a young pigeon's got to fly the coop.
Near where you are in the corner that you're standing on is a hearth that has long been kind of dormant. But you can see in the smoldering ash is one little ember that is struggling to stay alive. It'll kind of flicker out, then flicker on, and then kind of dance, kind of grow, and then dim, and grow, and then dim.
Interesting.
Maybe we can talk about you potentially joining us on the trip. Something to think about.
Yeah, it was.
If you'll excuse me, I have to not be here.
And he stands up and walks over to where that flame is.
Okay. As you walk over to the flame, Petra and Proximus, Arabelle, make your way towards the table with the food, and Erwin, the cook, is making sure that you're all fed, and there's a bunch of little kids in here that are kind of running around. This mansion, since it has been so long abandoned, kind of smells like old leather and steel and cold stone. It's not the most inviting area to be in, but these people are making it the best of what they can. And Arabelle sits at the table and she goes, "All right, everybody. I, if you don't know, am a fortune teller." And people go, "Oh, okay." Goes, "And I will be doing a fortune for all of you people here if you want it. So," she sits down, she puts her Taroka card deck out, and she says, "Who is first to have their fortune read?" Nobody says anything. She says,
Petra, do it.
"Petra, do you want your fortune read?"
I know my fortune, but perhaps knowing the pathway would be helpful.
Okay, everyone, when Petra, I have done Petra's fortune before, but that was kind of a different life, so to speak. Now, Petra, I'm going to put this card in front of you. All right. This is a card that will give you a glimpse into your future. She pulls out from her bag a couple of candles that she lights to get a little ambiance. And she says, "All right, Petra, draw your card. Can you roll a d12 for me?"
Yeah, absolutely. New dice. New dice for a new life.
New dice. That's beautiful.
Or unlife, whatever we want to call it. D12. Go. 9.
9. All right. She flips over this card. The marionette depicts a person with a mask obstructing their face, fingers over this goblet as if puppeteering. And she holds your hand, Petra, and you feel a rush to your head. You are suddenly standing, or actually laying, in a dark place, which you recognize to be a crypt, a coffin. You are dead once again. But then there's some light as the coffin opens, and you see Arabelle's face. And she pulls your hand and pulls you out, a reenactment of the time that you were risen by Arabelle. But this time, at least in this moment, you are not a revenant. You are fully resurrected. And you cut back in front of this table. Arabelle looks like she has shared this vision with you, but no one else has. She looks a little bit flustered, and she says, all right, the marionette, that's a fun card, Petra. Perhaps this could mean that you are, because you're like the leader of this group, you're pulling the strings of us to find the Dark Lord? Or perhaps, but I don't think this is true, or perhaps someone is marionetting you, but I don't know how that could be possible.
I mean, in service of the Lord, I am a tool, a vessel.
Yes. All right, that was fun. Anybody else?
I applaud Arabelle's. Good job, great fortune telling.
The man that had confronted Oz speaks up and says, "My name is Harold. I would like my fortune read." And she nods, and she sits down, and she does her ambiance setting with her candles. She puts her hand on his hand, and she flips over a card. This card is Horseman. Depicts a skeletal figure in a hood riding on the back of a horse. And you see them both close their eyes. And after a second, Arabelle opens her eyes. She goes, "Oh, I am so sorry." And the man gets up and storms out. And then there's a loud thump from the nearby room, the chapel, like something hitting a window loudly. And then another one. Thump, 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 thump.
Do we go look at that noise?
Proxy, do you want to go check it out?
Yes.
I will go to.
All right, so you both make your way into this chapel.
Do not worry, everyone. We do adventure all the time.
As you make your way, it is a chapel devoted to the Morning Lord. There are pews that have been kind of broken, some still standing. Stone altar. There's a balcony on the second floor above, a viewing area for people to look down on the sermons. There is a bunch of stained glass depictions of paladins fighting back evil waves of monsters. And as both of you make a perception check.
Perception. I'm so perceptive.
I didn't hear
It's
any of this
19.
because I'm in the other room.
Yeah, you didn't hear this.
I rolled another nat 1.
Oof.
Petra,
You're dead, girl.
Game. Yeah.
Third life.
Until that soul digests in my tummy.
Yeah.
You just keep going, fuck, I ate an eyeball.
I ate an eyeball.
You're somehow embarrassed.
Yeah.
Proximus, what was your perception check?
19.
Okay. You can tell, Proximus, that the thump is made from creatures, some sort of small kind of flying creature that is smashing itself full speed into the stained glass windows from the outside. Just kind of black blobs distorted from the stained glass, hitting the stained glass loudly and just dropping to the ground. 2, 3, 5, 10 of them. You kind of make your way up and notice that there is a man here that you did not see before who is sitting in the first pew. Back to you as you entered the chapel from the back. His eyes are closed, and he's a little bit gaunt and old and weathered. Looks like he has been through a lot in his life. And he looks up to you as you kind of come up investigating the sound. He doesn't say anything.
Hello.
He doesn't say anything. You look back at the stained glass and see that the creatures that were throwing themselves against the stained glass are bats. Dozens of them, lying on the ground just outside, as if they're trying to get in.
Petra?
Yeah. Yes. What?
Bats at the window. Silent man here.
Yeah.
Silent man, who are you? What do you want with us?
You do not see the man anymore.
Oh no.
Where
Petra,
he
the
was sitting.
silent man is now invisible.
The bats. A symbol of the devil. I don't know. Next steps. How do we fight bats?
I'm gonna go ahead and do my invocation to cast false life on myself.
All right, cast false life on yourself.
I get 8 points back, or get 8 points. 10 HP.
Meanwhile, Oz, you are alone in the other room. You can kind of hear Ismark is holding court. You can hear Tom goes, Ismark, talk about the time when you were burgomaster and you gave those people like hope that they could survive like the coming winter, and everyone loved you. And Ismark kind of like puts his hand and tells these people a story about his time as the burgomaster. But you are alone in front of this hearth with this kind of sparking, dancing ember.
I just kind of like look at it. I think the first thing I would do is go, hello?
It does not speak back to you, but reacts to your words. Kind of jumps. A little spark, burning spark.
What? I reach out and try to touch it.
It's hot to the touch. When you touch it, it kind of goes out a little bit, but it's like desperate to hold on to its life. It sparks back up again.
Can I try to fan the flame?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I try to feed the fire.
Feed the fire, give it fuel, and suddenly becomes this, from an ember to a spark to open flame in this hearth. And suddenly the smoke from the hearth brushes past your face, and as if beckoning you, goes upstairs to the second floor. You can see it through the hole in the balcony up in the second floor.
Well, it would be rude not to follow.
and I follow the smoke.
Make a perception check.
That is much worse. That's a 9.
You see that you catch the tail end of Warren Canis has made his way to the second floor as well. He disappears out of sight down one of the hallways. But no one's paying attention to you. If you want, there's the grand staircase that leads up towards in the direction of this smoke that has passed.
Yeah, I start stealthing.
Okay, roll stealth check.
That is a 25.
Okay, easy, no problem. You make your way up to the second floor. This second floor, you can see it up here on the map. This is not the top of the mansion. It looks like it has 4 floors, but this map has a second floor. It looks like a couple of doors open that used to be sleeping quarters of these knights and paladins.
Okay.
There is a room that is toward the chapel, seemingly a balcony overlooking the chapel.
Okay.
The southern area is destroyed. It looks like they were rooms, but are now just open to the elements. The smoke and spark that you have fueled continues up to the 3rd floor.
I follow.
All right, the grand staircase stops on the 2nd floor, but there are small spiral staircases.
Yeah, I go up that one specifically, yeah.
Kind of compact and a little bit claustrophobic as you make your way up. Make a perception check.
Oh, God. That is a 17.
Okay. First thing you notice is that Francesca has come up here with you, but she's trying to sneak behind you.
Okay.
You don't think in a malicious way, but she's
Curious.
trying to follow you, but she thinks she's hidden, but you see her.
Okay. Interesting.
You see Warren Canis as you kind of peek your way up on the 3rd floor. This floor has been abandoned for so long. It smells of ash and cold stone, dust and decay. There are tapestries on some of the walls here that are torn and tattered, but clearly depict a paladin order, knights in shining armor, but none of them are the pride of this fort that they used to be. The smoke enters a room on the far side that looks like it used to be an audience chamber of some sort. The door is cracked. You could follow it if you want. You also see Warren Canis go up one more floor to what you believe is the roof by himself.
Decisions.
Oh, fuck. Which one do I do? This is so hard. I'm gonna hope that whatever is in the smoke room stays in the smoke room, and I am going to follow Warren. But what I do first is I take out my gun, and I very quickly turn around and point it at Francesca.
Uh-huh.
And then I smile and put the barrel up to my lips and go, shh. and then holster it, and then I gesture her for her to come with me, and then I just start going.
All right. She looks a little freaked out at first, but she nods and kind of smiles at your a little bit unorthodox mannerisms. You make your way.
This one feels more time sensitive.
As you descend the steps, you can feel the elements. This roof is at least partially exposed to the outside. There is rubble on the ground blocking your way here on the third floor as a part of the roof has completely collapsed. Water dripping down from the many rainfalls. There's snow falling. You have to kind of climb over to get to the stairs, same as what Warren did by himself. You make your way over to the stairs, and as you're walking up to the roof, you hear whispering. Just kind of like on the air. A language you don't recognize.
I just stealthily continue.
Can you make a history check?
15 plus anything? 3, 18.
Okay. This language that is being whispered is not a fiendish language or a demonic language, but a very close sister to that. You recognize this to be some sort of ancient primordial death language. Language lost to time that some say has the ability, if whispered to you, to turn your brain to mush.
What?
You get up to the roof, and you can see most of it are kind of the ramparts of this fort that work its way around. But there is one large chamber in the center that is enclosed with a roof. The doors are wide open. And you can see inside that Warren is there, lying on the floor in the middle of the room. Do you walk closer to investigate?
The first thing I do is I rip off a strip of my tunic and then rip that in half and plug my ears.
Okay.
And then as I'm doing that, I'm going, I'm an idiot. Just to myself, I say that.
Francesca looks at you and goes, should I do this too? Should I plug my ears?
Stay here.
Nuts.
And I, slowly step in.
Right. This room is clearly some sort of religious sanctum, or at least was once. But there was some tables and chairs that were in the center that have been pushed to the sides. There are paintings all around with their gold-flecked frames that are surprisingly undisturbed from the decay of the rest of this mansion. There is a giant stained glass depiction on the back wall that takes up the entirety of the walls. Someone must have spent years making this. It is an incredible spectacle to be kind of shoved up at the top of this mansion. Seems weird to you. This stained glass is a depiction of a battlefield. Paladins wearing the Order of the Silver Dragon, a dragon symbol, and they're carrying their swords and they're attacking waves of undead. And they are losing. They are overwhelmed. They are dying. Their bodies strewn everywhere. The skeletons and zombies are taking over. And in the middle of the stained glass, floating, the focal point of the entire piece is a figure with skeletal wings to its side, wielding a sword made of pure blackened sunlight. You recognize this immediately as Gabe. And Warren Canis is laying on the ground in the middle of this room. Nothing around him. All the furniture's been pushed around. His eyes are closed. He's seemingly unconscious, head kind of cocked. His back is lifted off the ground. But there's also something here that you don't see that I think really sticks with you. There is clearly someone kneeling behind him someone or something invisible to your eye that is holding his back up, cocking his head to the side, and whispering in his ear.
What the actual fuck?
Petra,
Ah!
as you're standing in the chapel trying to look for this guy, you hear Arabelle in the other room go, "All right, okay, I'm done. No more of the Taroka card readings for today. I think we're going to stop there. I'm going to have some porridge, and I might go to sleep." A little bit of commotion from that room. What do you two do?
I think the way to protect this place is to repair this chapel. I start casting mending on the the Lord of Light.
Oh yeah, okay. It's going to take a little bit of time mending cantrip, but you start repairing some of the broken stone altars and pews and walls and some of the cracks and some of the paintings and the stained glass. Petra, Proximus, what are you doing?
Nothing that I have in my toolkit really works for this. I'm just keeping an eye out for any sudden movements, even if it's like something invisible hits something. I just want to keeping my head on a swivel.
All right. The door to the chapel opens from the dining room, and you see Kala, the woman that called you Fritz. She looks to you from across the chapel, Proximus, and motions for you to come.
No.
She doesn't say anything, but does it again.
No.
She looks disappointed, disappears.
Petra, I have a really bad feeling about this entire place.
I forgot what feelings feel like.
You hear a scream. Arabelle from the other room. Ah!
I run towards her, scream.
Screaming, that's like the one spot that I like. Yeah.
Okay. You head into this other room, this scream of Arabelle echoing through your ears. As you get in, people are less panicked than you would have thought given the scream. Arabelle is not in this room. She must have fled into the room, the foyer with the tents, the sleeping arrangements. Petra, as you rush into the room, you see the Martikovs are here. Erwin and Danica are. They seem a little bit perplexed, a little on edge, but not panicked. You see on the table in front of where Arabelle was, there is a card that looks like this, that is face up, called the Dark Lord.
Oh no.
You kind of scan the room. You see the man Harold is there, furrowed brow, trying to calm down some of the kids that are yelling and screaming. You can see Kala is in here as well. She's sitting in one of the chairs, like deep in thought, a hand on her chin. And then just to Kala's left, sitting in the chair, staring right directly in your eyes, Petra, is Strahd.
I grab the maul from my and I just run and swing, aiming right for the head.
Oh!
Make a perception check.
Mm-hmm. 2. So 6 total.
Okay, roll an attack roll.
Of course. I'm about to get a nat 20 on this. It is a rolling. Come on, 20. That is a 22.
All right, roll damage.
About to kill Arabelle. It is 16 points of damage.
Okay. In your righteous fury,
Oh,
Petra, you realize too late that your eyes are playing tricks on you. This Strahd would not be sitting here in this moment. And you take your maul and you smash Davian Martikov in the face. His old man body crumples to the ground.
Holy shit!
This is the second time we've killed this man.
Everyone in the room yells and screams. Harold, the man, tries to restrain you. Can you make an acrobatics check or athletics check, Petra?
the devil! The devil is here! Athletics check is 6.
He grabs you and pushes you up against the wall with your arms around your back. Your maul now dropped to the ground. People are screaming and yelling. Proximus, what are you doing?
Looking for Arabelle.
Okay, you don't see her in this room. If you head to the other room...
Yeah, I think I'm ignoring everything else and just trying to find her.
Make a perception check.
Okay. Please. 18!
She runs out of the front doors of Arkenvostholt, out into the snowy night air, leaving everyone else behind.
No!
I'm gonna run after her. We need your help! Petra is in danger!
You run after her. She looks scared. She stops on the steps that lead up, breathing heavily. She looks back to you, Proximus. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. She looks over and you see parked out front of Arkenvostholt is a carriage. Black decor and swirling gold patterns on the side. No horses are attached, but the windows have curtains drawn so you cannot see who is inside. And she gives you a hug, Proximus, and she goes, I think that he's here. We need to go. I think we can't stay here.
We saw him, and then Petra thought that she was hurting him, but she hurt someone else.
Petra, what do you mean Petra hurt someone?
We thought that it was the bad guy. It was the old man.
She nods and runs back inside. The door to the carriage kind of slowly creaks open, revealing a completely dark interior. Proximus, you can't see if anyone's in there, and no one immediately comes out.
Come on.
It's so spooky.
Who is there?
The only response is the swirling snow and wind of the valley.
You cannot hurt me. I am not capable of dying.
Nothing.
I'm going to... If I see Strahd in that carriage... Oh, God, that won't do anything. This won't do anything. It's a point of pride. I want to ready Eldritch Blast at the carriage.
Okay, trying to destroy it so it can't
Yeah.
leave.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you approaching it?
No, I'm standing my ground.
Okay. Oz,
What?
You stand at the top of the building. You hear some screams below of some of the people down on the first floor, faint and muted, but your head is in the game up here. Look back, Francesca is stayed a little bit behind, like watching you from around the corner, but you stand in the precipice of this room. Warren Canis on his back, eyes closed, whispers in his ears. What do you do?
I take out my gun with the silver bullets. I aim to where I think that figure is, and I shoot.
All right, roll an attack at disadvantage.
I don't know what else to do. I miss magic. Okay. At disadvantage, it's a 14.
Okay, roll damage.
Oh shit. That is 13 points of piercing damage from a silvered bullet.
The bullet strikes this invisible creature, and for but a millisecond, you can see it flickers into life. It is a creature that is all black, but less all black and more all the absence of light. Its eyes are red. Its features are muddled and shadowed. Its ears are pointed. Its fingers are long and extended as it holds Warren Canis's head in its hands. And it stops its whispering, disappears, and Warren Canis' head falls onto the ground. His eyes closed, mouth wide open, unnaturally wide.
Oh my god. I run over to Warren and check his pulse, see if he's alive at all.
He opens his eyes. Okay. What's happening?
I grab him by the collar.
What's happening? An invisible shadow man was just sucking the life out of you or something. What's going on? Why are you up here?
Yes, no need to worry. I need to get back with the rest of the refugees. He tries to stand up.
I don't let him.
Okay.
What's
get
happening?
off of me. What do you mean, what's happening? I have people. I'm the leader of these people. I need to go and talk to them.
What was that? The shadow creature.
Make an insight check.
Oh, are you lying to me? That is a 17.
He's absolutely 100% lying to you. He obviously knows more than he's letting on.
I put the gun to his head.
Okay.
I would start talking.
Make an intimidation check now.
Oh gosh, I'm not great at this. 14.
He kind of looks to you. A smirk crosses his face, and he says, "It's too late for you." He licks his lips, takes a few deep breaths, and just stays there, unmoving, staring at you.
What is happening?
He kind of cracks a smile in your face, which is a little taste of your own medicine.
Yeah, for sure. I just kind of pull him closer by the collar, scream in his face as I pull the trigger.
Okay. Roll damage again.
Okay.
You don't need to roll an attack, just roll damage.
That is 15 points of piercing damage.
Damn.
You
Happy Halloween, everyone.
Spookies.
blow his brains out.
Oh my god.
His body slumps to the ground, dead.
I am covered in blood. And I stand up. And I look over to the portrait of Gabe. And I say,
I'll be seeing you later.
and then I start walking out of the chapel, reloading my gun, just like, once again, blood covering my face as I look at Francesca, and I say,
We gotta get back downstairs.
and I start sprinting downstairs.
She doesn't question you. All right, are you going all the way downstairs? You going to the third floor? What is your current plan?
I'm gonna go to the third floor to the smoke room.
Okay. You head into this room, open the door to see a kind of living chamber. This obviously used to be a room.
And I'm not
with some-
stealthing anymore, by the way. I'm like, and I burst open.
This room is well kept. There is a hearth that is burning with living fire almost. There is some couches and some tables that are nicely set up. A bookshelf with a bunch of undisturbed books, leather-bound tomes. And in the middle of this room is a swirling bit of smoke. And as it's kind of coalesces in front of you, you can see a massive silver dragon that takes up the majority of this room.
I think for the first time you see his smile drop. And he's legitimately, like, befuddled and amazed at what he sees for but a moment. And then his smile goes even wider, and he smiles hugely. And he says,
I'm sorry I'm late, dear. I had some business to attend to.
The dragon speaks to you in a studied tone of a creature of clear magnificence and royalty, as it says. Do not be afraid of me. You have come and can be my savior. It's kind of wisping around in the room. Francesca kind of holds your hand in kind of a little bit of fear, grabbing your arm, looks to you, and she goes, "What do we do?"
I say we let the dragon speak.
I'm not afraid of you. Who are
The
you?
dragon speaks and says, "This was my order, a brotherhood of the valorous, and we battled corruption. But we could not know that we would fall. We are dead, and yet we live. Macabre profanities of nature, only slightly better than Strahd himself." It flickers out of existence.
What? It just goes away?
Goes away.
No,
Please, come back. I'll be your savior.
Petra, you are being apprehended essentially by this man that you have never met. He's kind of pushed you up against the wall. Martikov family are screaming in terror. Davian, you believe, is dead on the floor. What do you do?
He was. He's here somewhere. Let me go. I have to get him. I have to kill him. I kind of just start crying.
Arabelle runs in. She goes, "Oh my gosh, let Petra go. Petra didn't mean to do this. This is not something is happening. I think the devil is here. We have to leave." Most of the people here kind of flee to the other room. The Martikovs take their father Davian and pick him up and lead him into the other room. So it's just you and Arabelle and Harold. And Harold says, "What do you mean he's here? The Dark Lord is here." Yeah. Why would the Dark Lord be here and playing tricks on us? Saying that to you, Petra.
Can I do an insight check on this guy?
Yes.
Just so you know, Matt, just because I don't know what the timing is like, if he wouldn't have like immediately reappeared, or if I wouldn't have immediately seen something, I probably just would have headed back downstairs. Okay. So just to let you know, as far as like, I don't know when time lines up.
Yep. Gotcha.
It's a 21.
This guy is 100% in your mind under the charm effect of a vampire. What vampire and how, you're not quite sure, but for sure.
This is a fun twist. Well, it could be Strahd, who might be here, or could be our best friend's husband.
I don't know what's happening!
I don't know if that marriage is still legal.
Yeah, you fled the state.
Yeah, not the same fucking reality. That's true.
Harold looks to you, Petra, and says, "We have a holding area on the second floor. Until you have proven that you can be safe around us, I'm going to take you there to be detained." And he starts to push you into the chapel.
Is Arabelle with us?
Yes.
Arabelle, please come with me. I have to talk to you.
She nods. Harold pushes you into the chapel. Petra, this time when you walk into the chapel, you can see the man that Proximus had told you about is standing near the altar.
Yeah.
And you get a good glimpse at his nature, which is immediately apparent to you because it's very familiar. This man, not Harold, the man detaining you, but this figure standing here is a revenant, undead paladin of the Order of the Silver Dragon that is alive in some sense in a mission similar to yours, perhaps. You can't quite ascertain its goal or mission, but the man Harold doesn't seem to see it, and neither does Arabelle. And he pushes you up some of the stairs in the chapel up to the second floor balcony, and he keeps saying, "Let's go. Can't let you be amongst the other people. I told Warren we should not let these people come here." He's kind of muttering to himself as he kind of forcibly shoves you, Petra, up the stairs. Arabelle behind. Do you do anything before you get pushed onto the second floor?
So I see this revenant. Does the revenant acknowledge our presence? Follow us with its eyes, or?
Yeah, it acknowledges your presence specifically.
I look at it and my eyes go wide a little bit. I have to deal with this situation though, so I am willingly kind of going along. I do have a plan for this situation.
As you head up the second floor, the revenant disappears from your sight as you round the corner to the second floor. Harold pushes you into an old, tattered bedroom that has soiled bed and destroyed cabinets. It's disgusting room that has not seen use in hundreds of years. And he throws you onto the bed. And he says, "You'll stay in here locked until we figure out what to do with you." Arabelle tries to push her way in, and he bars her from entering, and then shuts the door, leaving you alone.
Okay, before he shuts the door,
Okay, yeah.
can I cast Hold Person on him?
Ooh.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
He needs to make a
Whiz save.
Okay.
Save.
Whiz save.
Dirty 20.
Oof.
Oh, yeah. He does save.
And with that, you are now alone in this room.
Damn.
It is dark, no lights, almost literally pitch black as you're sitting on this bed, contemplating your actions. You can hear just outside the door Arabelle say, "You don't understand. There's a trick. It was tricked. It tricked you." And then silence.
Well, shit.
Proximus.
Perfect cutaway.
You are standing outside in the snow, looking at this carriage, waiting for it. After a minute or so, the door closes. And when it closes, as it shuts, you get a kind of flash of your previous life, like what would happen with Kala. You are sitting in this very wagon.
Whoa.
No doubt in your mind, this is the same wagon that you find yourself. You kind of look down and you're maybe 12 or 11 years old. Can't quite get a good look of like the rest of yourself, obviously, but you're sitting here in this wagon. Next to you, you see a man that you recognize to be your father, but you can't quite see his face. Like you look at it, it's not like it's shrouded, but every time you look at it, it's as if his face slips your mind immediately. And you can hear him say, "Fritz, I think this is going to be good for us. Are you ready, my boy?" Kind of patches your shoulder. And then you see as the carriage makes its way in front of Castle Ravenloft. And then you see yourself now up in one of the high towers of Castle Ravenloft, way above the valley of Barovia, staring down at the top of a spiral staircase that descends rapidly into darkness below. You look down, you can see the scar on your arm that Kala had previously talked about. Clearly, this is an experience that Fritz had that is coming to you in this moment as you have now occupied this body. And you see this man that is your father walking up this spiral staircase, appearing from the tight corners of this enclosed space. Again, you can't see his face, but you hear him say, "Fritz, my boy, I have some food here for you, and I believe the Lord of the castle has given us some toys and some games." And before he can finish, you watch yourself put your hands out and push him. And this man, your father, tumbles down the stairs. You can hear his bones breaking as he tumbles out of sight. And you're back here outside of Arkenvost, in front of the carriage.
I send the Eldritch Blast at the carriage.
Okay, roll damage.
Nice. For both bolts, that's 17 total force damage.
Okay. The carriage splinters and breaks. Part of the axle of the wheel shatters. This carriage will not be going anywhere, at least not in a hurry, as one of the wheels is completely destroyed.
stagger back inside, looking around. I feel disoriented. Want to find Arabelle. I'm gonna go to where I believe she was headed with Petra.
As you stagger back inside, kind of close the door behind you, and just brief second, you see a dark figure in the distance, the darkness of the outside in the snow, kind of step hurriedly, like almost unnaturally fast, kind of darting in amongst the shadows.
Oh, I hate that visual.
Still trying to find Arabelle.
Okay. Are you shouting Arabelle's name? Or
Yeah, I think at this point, yeah.
You see at the top of the stairs of the second floor is Arabelle and this man, Harold. He has grabbed Arabelle's arm and has his other hand over her mouth as she's trying to like scream.
Oh.
And she's kind of dragging her down the stairs.
Oh, cool. I'm casting Toll the Dead on him.
Okay.
He needs to make a wisdom saving throw of 17.
Fail.
Dope. Has he taken any damage?
No.
Cool. So that's just gonna be 2d8. Bad. 8 points of necrotic total.
Okay. He clutches his head and lets go of Arabelle, who runs down the stairs, and she looks to you, and she says, "They have Petra in the room. Something bad is happening here. We should get people and leave. Where's Oz?"
Petra? She behind that door, I'm assuming?
If you take... Yeah, we'll cut back to Petra. You can hear Proximus yelling your name from outside of the door.
Proximus, they locked me in here.
Stand back! Eldritch Blast the door.
Okay. Roll damage for Eldritch Blast.
Do.
And
The
Petra...
door is actually an old man.
That's going to be a 23.
Petra, can you make a perception check?
Yarp. The door was an old man. It is a 17.
As the door gets splintered open, your revenant sixth sense kicks in. And you hear and feel the hot breath of someone right behind you speak into your ear. And they say, "Fear not, your suffering will soon be over." And light fills the room as the door is splintered. Proximus, you see Petra alone in this room.
Is this the voice of Strahd?
Yes,
Yes.
it is.
These are bad people. We must leave them.
He's here. I knew he's here. He taunts me. I hunger for his death. And he's so close.
Oz, you spend a little, couple seconds here waiting for this dragon to reappear, and you get a little impatient. You head back out into the hallway, and you are greeted by 5 figures, all clad in chainmail armor, wielding large greatswords. Their face decayed, gaunt, undead. The leader of them looks to you and says, "A corpse should be left well alone. What is your plan here in Argen Vastolt?" He speaks through a split face, a decaying mouth.
Fuck me, dude. I say,
Why, only to rid this sacred place of all of the naysayers that currently dwell here.
He responds and says, "And what do you think of the ruler of these lands, Strahd?" Leans in, very interested in your response.
Strahd is a devil that I hope is one day stomped out by our dragon lord.
He pulls his great sword out and he says, "Strahd suffers while here. I cannot let you destroy him."
Oh, I'm sorry. I got us confused. That's so silly of me. I fired my gun.
Okay, roll an attack.
That is an 18.
That hits. Roll damage.
Yes. 9 plus 7 is 16 points of piercing damage.
Your bullet smashes into the side of this face of this revenant with this greatsword. And as soon as that happens, the door in between you and them slams closed, leaving you and Francesca there in this room alone. And you hear and see the wisps of the silver dragon now. No longer the form of the dragon, but you can hear it say to you, speaking directly to you, said, "My knights can no longer hear me. Their hatred burns. They are lost. Please, please, my remains are beyond them in the great hall. Restore me, and they will help you, and I will help you."
How do I restore you?
Can you make a persuasion check?
That's a 14.
It says, "I am lost to them. They were slain by Strahd in a battle, but they have come back as this neither dead or living. My bones of my once form is in there. I don't know how to restore me, but if you have magics to do so, we can help you."
All right, well, I'm gonna have to figure that out later. In the meantime, I'm gonna have to kill all your friends.
The wisp of the silver dragon disappears. Francesca looks at you and goes, Are we fighting them? Should we yell for help?"
Well,
She grabs your hand, clearly scared.
I don't know how to bring a dragon back to life. Do you?
Shakes her head.
I think we're gonna have to fight him then. But you don't have to fight anybody. I got you.
She hugs you and kind of steps behind you. You see that he's genuinely confused for a second. And he tries to open the door.
Okay, you creak the door open. No one is there.
Motherfucker. Just stick with me.
And I try to go downstairs.
Okay, you head downstairs to see Arabelle, Proximus, and Petra have just smashed open Petra's own door.
Oh, hey,
standing in the
everybody.
hallway.
I've been on quite the journey in the past few
He's
minutes.
here. The devil's here.
He is.
Strahd is here.
He's apparently weak here. There's there used to be an order here of some kind, a dragon lord, and his servants are currently serving Strahd. I just shot one of them upstairs. They keep disappearing. I don't know what's happening. It's quite annoying. But there's bones of the dragon downstairs, and he says if we restore him, that he can help us defeat Strahd. But I do have something that I have to do, so you can join me downstairs if you'd like. And I just keep heading downstairs.
Yeah.
Unless, is Harold here with them?
No. Harold was told the dead, and you do not see him.
Yeah, I'm heading downstairs. I'm looking for Harold.
Okay.
Dragon would be a good weapon. And I go following down.
Okay. Proximus, what do you do?
I'm just gonna follow after Petra, making sure that Arabella's staying by me.
Okay, you make your way into the foyer. This room is populated by Ismark and his entourage, they have stopped kind of telling stories and are a little bit concerned about what's going on.
Classic Ismark.
Ismark is a little, you can tell he's a little tired.
I was gonna say, is he tired?
Do I see Harold?
Make a perception check.
8.
No, you do not see Harold. You do not see the Martikovs. You do not see Kala, and you do not see Escher.
I don't see any of the new people.
Correct.
Any of the people that we didn't travel here with.
Correct.
Where is everybody?
There's a very scary carriage outside, and I broke it.
That seems like we're all having our own fun. The people that are here are bad people.
Yes.
And I briefly explain to Petra specifically what happened upstairs with Warren and the thing that was whispering an ancient version of death, and the fact that it was invisible, and then Warren was like, it's too late for you, and then I killed him, just to see if Petra has any like knowledge of what that could have been, because Oz has no fucking clue.
Petra, make a religion or history check.
Zach doesn't even really know.
That's a dirty 20.
If what Oz tells you is true about this death language and this creature and the
Yeah, I explain
whispering-
everything basically, like the dragon and everything that I've experienced.
It's a long stairway.
Yeah.
Yes.
What I'm telling Ismark and because you said it's only our group, so I don't mind telling all these people everything that happened.
Okay, gotcha.
I just don't want to do it because I won't have a voice tomorrow.
Oh, yep, of course, yep.
He's that
Petra,
professional.
Yeah.
I think you can kind of compartmentalize this into two different things.
Yeah.
First of all, this primordial death language is incredibly concerning, obviously. You have heard of this being used, but only used by eldritch demigods.
Oh my god.
Creatures of pure evil that rule over entire universes. That
What is
have been lost
going
to history.
on?
Bruh.
But you don't think that has anything to do with the dragon. You get the feeling that this is and Warren is connected to Strahd. This is Strahd's doing. But this dragon, Argynvost, and these revenants also pique your interest, especially when Oz mentions that they specifically did not want to kill Strahd.
I thought I was on their side, like, because they were wearing the armor of the dragon, right?
Yeah.
And the dragon told me he didn't like Strahd, but it was surprising. So it was like surprising to me that they weren't on the side of Strahd.
And as a revenant yourself, you could probably think that they would be on your side, of course, as they are paladins of the Morning Lord, but they have clearly, their vengeance as a revenant has clearly been twisted. And you get the feeling that in their mind, They have sought revenge on Strahd for killing their paladin order, much in the very same way that you have. But they believe that Strahd's revenge is the hell that he lives in.
Yeah, suffer here.
And
Which is, I think, what they were saying.
Oh, okay.
Not that he's weaker here, but he suffers.
I thought that there was like some like a Horcrux or something.
No.
It's kind of what I was thinking too.
You all stand in the foyer. What do you do?
I mean, I'm looking for any sign of these new people now that I've said all of that. And I also tell Francesca to stay with Ismark and the rest of the people.
Okay. She nods. If you kind of check over by the dining room, you can see some of the Taroka cards kind of spewed out. The Dark Lord still prominently sitting on this table. And the door to the chapel is wide open. And you can see everybody in here, inside of the chapel. All of them, Erwin Martikov, Danica Martikov, Kala, Harold, his wife Vasha, all kneeling down in front of the altar.
Oh, sure.
That's so creepy sounding. Escher too?
Escher is nowhere to be seen.
Okay.
Classic.
What is the altar of?
It is a very plain stone altar that's maybe at one point was used to, holds the sacraments or some holy vestments, but in the decrepit, destroyed nature is just a simple stone altar.
I cock my gun and I say, "You have 5 seconds to tell me why I shouldn't do this," and I point it at just the nearest person.
They are all kneeling down with their head to the ground, all of them in like a silent prayer, and no one responds to you.
Does anybody with me, like, I was asking Petra, and, like, do either of you stop me?
Did you say the altar was cracked stone altar?
Yep.
Can I go up to it and try to cast mending on it to see what the altar...
I'm gonna hold an action to if anyone moves towards Petra. If anyone moves towards Petra, I'm firing.
Okay. Petra,
that's not with us. I don't know how evil you are as a GM.
Yep. Yes.
Arabelle goes to hug Petra. No! I said I'd do it!
You can hear as you walk up to this altar that these people are kneeling around, that they are all whispering in the same language. All of them, Petra. The same death language. You walk up to the altar, no one moves, and you mend the altar. The cracks in the stone begin to smooth, and it is an altar once more. They all stop whispering, but they don't look up.
What? Curse the Dark Lord! Does anybody do anything when I say that?
Nope.
Ah, tough crowd.
Do I... I know that it's an evil language. I know that you mentioned that, like, to know of it is to, like, go insane, basically. Do I recognize, like, what, like, besides just, like, a general prayer, what it might be?
Like what they're saying?
No.
I think you can get the gist of it. And it is that they are speaking to Strahd, but not to Strahd necessarily, to something greater than Strahd.
What?
the front door to Argynvostold opens, Proximus, as you're standing there. And you see Warren Canis walks in. He closes the door behind him, and he says, "Who are you? Listen, I was out. I didn't have much luck foraging for food. Have you seen the Martikovs? I need to get them ready to prepare some meals for the rest of the refugees."
We all see this?
Yeah. Everyone that's out in the foyer.
I scratch my gun with I scratch my head with the barrel of my gun. Huh. This is interesting.
It's all very confusing.
You said you killed him?
I killed someone who looked a lot like him. Can I roll an insight check? Just to see if the surprise is genuine?
Yep.
That's a 22.
You don't detect any deception in Warren Canis's words. He seems genuinely confused and is obviously talking about finding rations that he believes he could not find.
I do have a feeling that this is the real guy, though. Are any of the refugees with you, Warren?
I went out with the Escher, I believe is his name. Where is he? And he kind of looks back. He must already. Did you see him go through here?
Maybe.
Is everything all right? This seems.
No, it is bad here for everyone. Very bad.
We think the Dark Lord has infested this place. What do you think about the Dark Lord?
Bad.
Yeah. Bad. No, I don't like him.
Hot take. Damn.
Petra, as you're standing kind of in the chapel.
What are we supposed to do here?
The stained glass, the large stained glass, shatters.
Oh, thank God.
Raining you with shards of glass.
Oh, no.
And you can see pouring in the blood red moon high in the sky.
What?
And a figure, all in black, rushes toward you. As you see the Dark Lord Strahd attack. And that's where we're going to stop.
No!
Oh, man.
My heart.
Do I still have my held action? I said if someone moves towards Petra.
He's
That's
technically
true.
moving towards Petra.
That's true. I'll give you your held action.
I don't think old man can
Okay,
come out of the sky.
Holy shit, Matt! There was some of those visuals were genuinely spooky.
Really creepy.
Really creepy. Yeah. Well done.
Nice. Well, thank you guys for playing. That was
Great job, Matt.
fun. A nice Halloween.
Yay! Happy Halloween!
Spectacular.
Happy Halloween.
I can't believe tomorrow is November of 2024. Jesus.
Stop that.
Christ.
Hey.
Stop that. It's not like
Well-
anything big's happening this month.
Yeah. Yep. The real.
Go out and vote.
Happening in 5 days.
Go out and vote.
Please.
Yes.
Please.
Okay, that's all we got. Thank you all for watching. It's been a pleasure, and you all great players, and it was a lot of fun. And I'm very happy that you have joined me here tonight.
That was awesome.
Thank you so much, Matt.
Thank
Of course. And as always, see ya.
See you.
See ya.